Okay, I thought the logo needed a little splash of green in there. I really did. I think the more color, the better. Because one thing that I'm a little concerned about with your presentation right now is monot. I'm sorry, not monotone, but as much as monochromatic, and we can really see it here. Just really pushing this monochromatic color palette, with the only exception being in the logo. So I thought that this logo here was kind of without the yellow. Boy, it's almost monochromatic as well. So I'm so glad you elected to add pop of color in here. I think you could add maybe one or two more. I really do. I definitely think that you could choose a little pop more color in that. Plus, right now, this, I'm sure you're aware of this, but the way that these were situated, the color blocks themselves, it didn't promote such an angular with the colors. This really promotes this really super angular, so that this definitely looks like two walls converging in a corner. Okay, just so you're aware of that. I'm okay with it. I think it's great. I love it. As far as the typeface goes, the only thing about this typeface I don't like is that the V, the way that V protrudes down and creates this kind of weird negative space right here. For that reason, I think this typeface here is your solution. So I think that logo is your solution. I think that maybe a pop two more of color in there might help. Try it, see what you think. These, I want to talk about these. As we back it down and watch the mark as I zoom out, you see how it's really starting to fall apart? Like some of the fine lines are becoming shapes now instead of lines, and it's all starting to converge as one kind of a shape, as opposed to a series of geometric lines that we can see. And that's because it's so fine, and the relationship between the type and the mark is such that the mark is really tiny, and subsequently, when you present it at smaller spaces, the mark itself is going to fall apart. Okay, that's something you may reconsider on this type of horizontal presentation. You won't see it here because of the size of the mark in relationship to the size of the text. Okay, the chain link pattern, I say no. It looks so digital, while everything else is got kind of this cool relationship going on, this kind of relationship between geometric and organic. But we see right here that this just looks almost man-made. It's geometric, all right, but there's nothing organic about it. Whereas this kind of has this kind of flow to it. And yes, geometric 110%, but not to the point where it looks contrived. Hope that makes sense. Okay. Again, this pattern is going to fall apart as we see how it color starts to turn into one color as opposed to two or three. So just be aware of that in your pattern making. Now, here's where I think we got a problem, Erica. Let's go down to last week's. These are last week's pictograms, and I think they were really successful because you're definitely preserving the logo itself and this geometric convergence at this central point, and that's great, and it really is so interesting. But this new ones they're not working as well. I think that the monochromatic nature of these, and I'm looking at the center column, it's just they need more color. One, they definitely need more color, and they just seem to be super condensed now. So that for example, over here, you're almost not even really seeing the hockey player anymore. See what I'm saying? You don't want the hockey player to get lost because that should be the first thing. It's a pictogram. So don't forget, it's communicating. Not only is it looking awesome, but it's communicating too. And it's trying to communicate to a international audience. So the hockey player you have got to be able to see the hockey player in the pictogram. Again, I think more color through here would be really super interesting. Okay, I used the word monochromatic before, and this is really where we're starting to see it in your tickets. They just really need more color. figure something out. I don't know what to tell you to do, because you've directed yourself through this project so well. I don't want to compromise anything. I do want to say, though, from a branding standpoint, typically when you have your logo mark and your logo type and your logo, typically branding standards would not allow stuff like this blue triangle encroaching on your logo. These within such close proximity to the logo. And you probably learned that in your branding class, but that's really, really important stuff. That logo has got to stand on its own. You can't be cluttering it up with other things. I think that's really important. I get the design. I get this, where you're following that same convergence on this geometric point right here. And that's very, very, very cool. So yeah, half of what you're doing is working great. The other half could be improved on. So think about it, work it out. Let me know if you have any questions, and hang in there. Well, we're almost done. Great job. Thank you.